Good morning, sports fans, and welcome. Welcome to episode 230 of the Guru Talkin Sports Podcast. I'm your host, the Guru of Sports. There's only one topic on the table today, and this is actually the final day. This is August 11th, 2024, and this is the final day of the Paris 2024 Olympics. So we're going to do nothing but talk Olympics today. This is it. All right, so I just was, watching Sports Center, and I got a chance to see Flavor Flav, and he was on there with Stan Verrett, and they were having a conversation about everything that was going on in Paris, and he had a really good time, and he's really connected to the USA women's water polo team. So he made the story that the women's team, they had to end up going to work for other jobs and stuff like that, to where they couldn't practice or do anything else. So Flavor Flav said he stepped up and just made sure that, he was back on them. He was, backing the girls to play, And he said that, hey, these girls are doing everything they can to make the U.S. look good. And he said he wanted to step up and just help them out because, hey, we all know that most of the athletes, in the Olympics have certain things that they, do. Like, let's say like Steph Curry, he plays professional basketball. He has a great living, but like I said, some of these Olympians, like water polo, don't. They have to work 2 or 3 jobs or so. So I thought that was a pretty good thing for Flavor Flav to do. And, he said he wanted to hang out like Snoop Dogg, and that's another thing that I wanted to mention. Snoop Dogg, and carry the torch. All right. So the opening Olympic game, the opening ceremonies. That's what I was looking for. Opening ceremonies. It was great. I thought the opening ceremonies was great. Other than, certain things that got people up and alarmed and everything. I thought it was very unique where they had boats going down the Seine River. Was that the Seine? The Seine River, the River Seine, or whatever it's called. I know one thing, I wouldn't put my feet in there. I wouldn't put nothing in there because that place, well, I'm going to talk about that later. We'll talk about the poopy water or the water. So, I watched the opening. Now, I don't know why, but, Paris is 6 hours ahead of us. So, I got home around about like maybe, say a couple weeks ago, I got home. No, I think I might have been off. I think I was off that day. So the Olympic ceremonies was on like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Usually, most of the time you'll see it on, most of the time tape delay or whatever, but it's in the evening. This was happening during the day. So I got a chance to watch it. Some of the things were really, really cool, like the boats and the rain and everything like that. But some of it just offended people, and I'm not going to go into that because, that is not, that's not nothing I want to do. I don't want to do that. But anyway, opening ceremonies were good. The first part of the Olympics were, basketball, and, basketball just ended yesterday. Swimming and all the other, sports that usually start out in the beginning. Now, me, I go back a ways. I actually go back to the first Olympic I can remember was the 1972 Olympics. And the 1972 Olympics, if you go back and, take a look at it, it was in Munich, Germany. And there was some controversy there. I'm not going to go into that. But that was the first Olympic I remember. The second one, remember was 72. No, second. I just said that, didn't I? Anyway, 76 was very good. The Olympics in 76 was in Montreal. 76, yeah, it was Montreal. No. 80, I forget anyway. Anyway, Olympics, I remember the 72, 68, 72, 76, 80, 84, 88, 92, 96, 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2012, 2016. Gosh, that's a lot. Anyway, I remember all of them. I remember all of them. Except for, before my time and all. But anyway, trying to explain this is, just crazy. But the fact is that the Olympic Games have always been kind of special to me. I just like just watching them. And, the thing about the Olympics is that, you're getting all these countries together and they're competing, doing what they can do, and just having a good time. But this Olympic here, 2004 in Paris, I'll always remember this for all the things that went on in this Olympics. Some of it, like I said, controversial, just like the first, the opening ceremonies. But then again, I remember it for all the crazy stuff. Let's say like, the poopy water and contaminated water. They couldn't do the decathlon because, they were afraid that they might get in there and have fish scales coming, growing out of their body or whatever. E. coli was the big thing because, they said if you get in there, you could get E. coli or whatever. I'm not messing with it. People got sick when they were in there. The mayor of Paris said she swam it. And it was like, yeah, right. And now she's probably somewhere recovering from E. coli or so. Anyway, that and the pole vaulter from France that, is dangling, knocked over the pole or whatever, and now he's got like a whole different setup for himself. And, if you don't know the story, I've been hearing it all week. Go back and take a look at it. I'm not going to go into that. China did a lot of different things, and the first time that I can remember that China actually swept all 8 categories in diving, and there's some Olympians that I'm going to remember forever. Kind of remember forever. Like Simone Biles, she came back from Tokyo and redeemed herself, and she's labeled as the greatest of all time. So, hey, look, that's what champions and great champions do. I'm just glad I got a chance to see her in a floor exercise and pull her vault, not the pole vault. Think about that, dude. Anyway, Simone Biles was very, very influential in this Olympics, making it one of the greatest games of all time. Katie Ledecky, my homegirl from down in Maryland, Bethesda, Maryland, she's the greatest women's swimmer of all time. I can't even imagine who was who else is there? I can't remember. But Katie Ledecky, I think she has the most gold medals of any women's swimmer of all time. So, Katie Ledecky. Léon Marchand of France just topped our Michael Phelps and becoming one of the greatest swimmers of all times. Now, I remember, like I said, talking about the Olympics of past, I remember the 1972 Olympics. Mark Spitz was the man, and he basically was the main guy in swimming until Michael Phelps came along. And now this guy, Leon Marchand, is actually one of the greatest of all time. Kiao Yuan from China, one of the greatest divers of all time now, surpassing the great Greg Louganis of the United States. And now he'll be remembered as one of the greatest divers of all time. Like I said, with China sweeping all of the diving events, his medal count just surpassed Greg Louganis, and I think this is the fifth time. They were tied at fourth. The fifth time he's actually won a gold medal. So he's got to be considered as one of the greatest divers of all time. Anna Hall. Anna Hall was I think she was like a tricathlon or something like that. I don't even know. I know that it was one of those something where points added up. I can't remember the event she did, but she was an Olympian. She didn't win, but her story was pretty good. I actually watched a little bit of it, and crying at the end, and that's the agony of defeat. But she was good. I mean, she really did have a good Olympics. Rebecca Andrade. Now, she came back from having all kinds of bad luck. She's from Brazil. She came back from having all kind of bad luck, like ligaments torn and Achilles and everything. And she actually won the silver medal in the floor exercises. Remember, Simone Biles won the gold, and Jordan Childs won the bronze. Allegedly now. I have to say allegedly because they might end up taking back her bronze medal because she came in 0.1%, 1% later than the other young lady. Instead of coming in third, she actually would jump back to fifth. So we'll have to see. That's going to probably be a story, but I will keep up on that story. Rebecca Andrade, is a Brazilian legend. So, she actually finally won a medal, and that was a good thing for her to, finally, after all that time and preparation, she finally did it. Congratulations to her. Like I said, Jordan Childs, they might end up taking her Olympic medal away in the floor exercises. Okay, so those are some of the things starting off that I just wanted to mention to you that I can remember about. Some of the things that you can remember about this Olympics. Track and field, America was dominant, no doubt. Pole vault, we didn't do good in that. We actually didn't do good in the 4x100. That collapse continues, and we haven't medaled in that in a long, long time. I think we haven't medaled in that since 2012. USA 4x100 relays, men and women, won the gold medal in that. So we're not, worried about that too much. But the whole for Olympic track, United States Olympic track won 34 medals. And that's out of the 122 that we currently have. And I think that, that's going to go up because the women's basketball team, I haven't even started talking about the basketball team. The women's basketball team does play today. So we probably end up with another gold medal. And the thing about it is that the women have not lost. They are 60-0. The last time they lost, I think it was 1992, somewhere around there, 1990 something or so. The 4x400 meter relay. Like I said, we won both of them. Meter relay. Okay, meter relay. Messiah Russell won the 100 meter hurdles. And congratulations to her. Like I said, we cleaned up. We cleaned up pretty good. Now, I want to ask you, is it a big deal that we didn't come, if we come away in this Olympics and we didn't win all the gold medals, top the gold medal count? Is it a failure? No. Years ago, I always thought that, yeah, we got to get more gold than anything. But now I look at it this way because, we have to, make sure that the, crowd is pleased or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to see our United States on top of everybody. China, France, Germany, Italy, whatever. As long as the United States is winning, I'm okay. And, I think it was Steph Curry made the point that, hey, look, we're all one team. We have to be ready to do our thing and represent our country. LeBron said that, and LeBron gets a little bit of flack for, a lot of things, but I had to give it to him and say that, hey, look, we're all on one team. We are one team. So let me talk about the men's basketball. That was something else. Now, I got to admit, they shouldn't have won by the margin they won by. And that 16-point spread was very much that was a hook to bring in the bettors. But guess what? I didn't bet on it because I didn't think they was going to win by 16 points. I thought the points was going to be a little bit less than that. Now, if I would have played the under, I could have won. But you know what? I didn't even touch that. I have to tell you the truth, I didn't bet on nothing during the Olympics at all. But I know if I had to bet on a sure thing, women's basketball I'm going to bet on because they have not lost. They can't. They are just that good. 60 straight wins. So I can't bet against them. Anyway, let's go back to the men. The basketball game for the men was outrageous. Steph Curry proved in his first Olympics. He said a couple years ago when they won the championship, he said, hey, look, I know 2024 is coming up and I want to be Olympian. And, and he made good in his debut. The guy was outrageous. 24 points, all on three-pointers. He bailed us out. He kept us in that game. And I'm so glad that, I got a chance to witness probably one of the greatest Olympic basketball games of all time. They said most of the time when you're in a, competing to get to the gold medal, they say that the game before, getting to the gold medal round is the hardest. The United States proved that both the men's did. They proved that both of these were the hardest. And believe me, that game was something else. I mean, we basically almost lost this. I watched the whole game. The game came down to where it was almost, 6, and they were, France was actually, close, really, really close a couple of times, and you got to give it to Wemby. Wemby played his butt off, and he shot 3-pointers and made it. So, like I said, it shouldn't have been this close, but we won. That's the main thing. Going back to what I said about the game before getting to the gold medal. Remember the Olympic hockey team? They beat the Russians in the semi or the final game, or the game towards the semifinals. I think it is the semifinals. And in the finals, they had to play the Swedes, and they beat the Swedes. Like I said, all these games, some of these games that go on to the medal round, the gold medal game, the hardest one to get through is that semifinal game or whatever, but that's the hardest one. All right, so. Like I said, this was a great Olympics. I learned a lot from this Olympics because I noticed that, this Olympics was fun, more or less. And it seemed like everybody, all the athletes, all of our athletes were having fun. And that was a good thing. I can't imagine someone getting thrown out of the Olympics for being too cute. But that happened to, I think it was a Brazilian swimmer. They said she was too cute and they threw her out, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I guess she was like just standing around and, posing or whatever. But I guess the Olympic committee told her to go home, and she was just wanted to stick around. That was kind of crazy, So, like I said, some of these things, in here is just ridiculous. I did see Snoop Dogg walking around, and, he's talking about, they're talking about he makes about like $500,000 a day to stay over there and explain stuff, and, like I said, it's pretty really, really crazy. All right, there's some things that, I do want to mention about golf. Scotty Scheffler, dude is a beast. Having one of the greatest golf years of all time. Besides getting arrested, I mean, he was like he's the man. He won the gold medal over in the Olympics. Now, like I said, this guy had one of the craziest years. But he takes home the gold medal for the USA. I did get a chance to watch breakdancing. Well, actually, it's called breaking. So I learned a lot of different things in that because hey, I'm a hip hop guy. I love hip hop and everything, but one of the part of there's 3 like fashions to hip hop. It's the rapping or DJing, which is one phase. The second phase is graffiti writing, and the third phase is breakdancing. and breakdancing became an Olympic sport. I can see why, because I've got a chance to see some of the people from around the world that actually take this as a serious thing. You know, breakdancing, I mean, I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. There was people from, well, France had some, Korea, Japan, Austria, Morocco. I mean, it was all over the place. You know, Australia. You know, I'm not going to mention the woman breaker that just stood there and, you know, flopped around, looked like a fool or whatever. But, you know, I forget her name, but we don't want to remember her. But if you get a chance, I saw her on video. Go back on the video and check that out. Lee from what was that? The Netherlands. He did pretty good. He was tall and flexible, and this dude could just, you know, spin and everything, and you know, that was really, really cool. Hong Ten from Korea, he was pretty good. He just couldn't make it in. You know, he was in the final 8 for the band, but didn't come through. Hero 10 was pretty cool. Now I noticed that the Asian guys, the Koreans and the Japanese, a little bit shorter guys, but was able to spin, and you know, some of them was basically just standing on their heads and everything, and you know, spinning around on their heads. I mean, like I said, this was pretty cool. Jeffro from the United States was pretty good. He had body spins. I saw that. Legit from France, didn't do too bad. Kaiser from, what's that place? The country, I can't remember. Ukraine, I'm sorry. Ukraine. He did pretty good. Really, really, you know, pretty good stuff. But 3 guys that actually stood out to me, and I watched these guys, and I thought these guys were really, really good. Danny Dan from France came out with some blue hair on, and he just looked kind of like normal, had a little sweatsuit on or whatever, and he was, you know, pretty good, damn good. Philip Wizard from Canada. Now this dude, when I first saw him, when I first was watching breakdancing, you know, yesterday morning, this dude, he was like, you know, kind of really, really amazing. Really amazing. So, I actually, I liked him. But there's a guy that we have here in the United States competed and almost pulled it off. B-boy Victor. Victor was the man. Victor was sharp. I mean, he was like just bouncing around a little bit, you know, and then he get into his breaks and everything, and Victor was the man, and he won the bronze. So it was Philip Wizard won the gold for Canada. Danny Dan won the silver for France, and Victor won the bronze for the United States. But you know what? I'm like saying to myself, how is it that we invented this sport and we're coming in 3rd place in this sport? You know, I actually would like to see them bring breaking back for 2028. That would be really, really cool to see. All right, let's get to the United States soccer. Now, this is going to be a hard match. This was going to be a hard match because they had played like 10 games in 16 days or something like that. they played a lot of games in, the day, 16 days. They did. So, you get to the gold medal game. Brazil is one of the best in the world. And, they possess one of the greatest women soccer players of all time. And that's Marta. Now, Marta didn't play in the first half. She actually came in the second half when it was clutch time. And the United States in the first half didn't do too well. They didn't do much. The first we thought was the first actual goal was scored by the Brazilians. But guess what? It didn't count because one of their girls was offsides. And believe me, they rewind that tape and they showed it, and she was offsides. I do watch a little bit of soccer, don't get me wrong. Soccer is kind of cool. But, like I said, when it's the United States, I always try to watch, men's and women, even though the men have a lot of problems and they just fired their coach or whatever. They didn't do good in the World Cup. They didn't do good in the, qualifying for the Olympics here. They didn't do good at all. But the women did. The women looked really, really sharp. Like I said, the first half of this match, it wasn't good. It wasn't sharp. But get into the second half. In the 57th minute, we had a score. And guess who scored the goal? Dansby Swanson's wife. Now, don't holler at me if I get her name wrong. I'm sorry. I do bad with names. Y'all know that. But anyway, she scored the goal. I think her name is Mallory Swanson. Will ever be known as one of the great soccer ladies of all time, joining, Julie Ertz, Hope Solo. Hope Solo. I love Hope Solo. She's like, very controversial, very, very. She says anything. Anyway, but let me get back to this. We won the gold medal over Brazil. And believe me, Lindsay Horton was amazing. She got hurt for a little bit, but she popped back up and, got there. And, like I said, there's a lot of things that happen in this. And I'm just glad that the United States won this. Now, Emma Hayes was their coach. She only been there 10 matches. And she's actually a native of Canada. But, I'm sorry, not Canada. She's a native of England. And she had an English accent. I listened to it and all. So she said that she always dreamed of carrying the torch or carrying the flag for the United States. This was something that she dreamed of years and years ago. As a little girl, she said. The new coach led us to our gold medal. And she is just very, very excited. The thing I like about the Olympics, is that everyone, she was, like I said, she was an adopted, she said she's half American. She's not half American. She's full American now. She's a good, this is good. This was like really, really cool to see some of the stories that come out of this Olympics positively for the United States. Like I said, I'm really, really proud of the United States for having all the athletes. I mean, there was almost like 200 athletes. And I was like, how did they get a boat that big to roll around 200 athletes? Oh, man. But anyway, they had a great time. And these athletes were, spectacular. Like I said, there's a lot of images from the Olympics that I can, remember. But like I said, some of the images of these Olympics will just, like I said, carry on for the rest of my life. I'll remember this stuff. It's pretty good stuff, though. Now, one of the things that I'm not going to get too deep into this because this is very, very controversial. The Algerian boxer. I'm not going to go into the whole thing about if she was born a man or if she was born a woman or whatever, but this thing took off, and I'm just I don't understand why this happened. The Olympic Committee said that they're not going to do anything about this, but there's some things where we have to draw the line, and like I said, the Olympic Committee is really, really screwed up, corrupt, and just can't understand. I mean, we all know about how society is today, but the thing about it is that we got to do the right thing. I can't get into detail about this situation with this boxer, but it's just one of those things that like I said, there's a lot of things that you're going to remember out of these Olympics, and that's probably going to be one of the stains on these Olympic Games. This controversy. This controversy is going to be there for the longest time. Anyway. But, like I said, I'm looking forward to the women. They already have started. And started the game between the third place game, the bronze medal game, and I'm looking at it now. This young lady made a pass that was outrageous. Oh man! But anyway, Belgium and Australia are playing for the bronze medal. And guess what? It's a repeat from yesterday. The men from France and the men from the United States played. The women from France and the women from the United States are going to play in this game. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be 61 straight wins. And believe me, it's going to be outrageous. You got the greatest of all time stepping on the floor, and it's going to be outrageous. Anyway, I got to get out of here. You guys take care. We'll see you back next week with the episode 231. Guru, later.